It all began with one student, then another student. The harsh realities of a corrupt society were seeping into my music studio and my life, and I realized just how unprepared I was to confront it as an adult. I felt overwhelmed, unsure of what to do. The easy choice was silence, but my heart wouldn't let me stand by as the next generation faced destruction. Divorce and the breakdown of the family unit were long-standing issues, yet many of us remained quiet, failing to reach out as the loving church to help families in crisis. Divorce shouldn't have to be the accepted reality in our communities. I know this all too well. I've faced my own past of sexual abuse, marital abuse, divorce, and the struggles of blended family. But that was the past, and today is a new day. And I refuse to watch our youth fall victim to sexual exploitation and cruelty. Here's my journey and my plan to make a difference. One piano student looked up at me with longing eyes and shared that his father hit him. My heart melted. I sensed something was wrong. He was unable to enjoy the music he once loved. Was he misinterpreting his father's discipline? At my age, I was conditioned to see the best in adults, but my instincts told me otherwise. So I comforted him, but I failed to become the trusted adult he desperately needed. Not long after, his father fell ill and died 2 weeks later. The estranged mother moved in with her son and his siblings, and her nightmare began when police arrived. She learned that her deceased husband had run a child sex trafficking ring, using their own children to lure others. Devastated, she realized their marital problems were just the tip of the iceberg. Her husband had been abusing not just their children, but others as well. Hearing this mother's heart-wrenching story, I vowed never to be helpless or silent again. I grieved with her, prayed for her and her children, but it wasn't enough. I began training to recognize signs of child sex abuse. In my journey, I learned of the corruption within government agencies like Child Protective Services, CPS, and DHS. I heard stories of DHS officers compromising their own children's safety and foster parents prioritizing financial gain over the well-being of vulnerable kids. I discovered that pornography underpins so much of this tragedy, functioning like a drug addiction stronger than cocaine. When the thrill fades, Redditors seek the new high by targeting innocent children. Months later, I welcomed a second student. He was a gifted musician who felt rhythms perfectly and played the keyboard effortlessly. He loved his piano lessons, telling his mom he didn't want to leave. She would text me regularly about his joy and how much he loved playing my baby grand piano. For 5 months, he thrived in music lessons. But after a Thanksgiving trip to a relative's home, everything changed. At our next lesson, he sat at the piano and announced quietly to me he wanted to quit. Shocked, I asked why. "I don't know, I just want to quit," he replied. He struggled with finding where his fingers would go to play this certain music piece. So I helped him find his place on the keys, and ultimately, he just laid his hands in his lap in frustration. I guided him through a calming exercise, outstretching his arms, crossing them, and holding them to his chest. I encouraged him to speak words of peace to his body. With a confused look, he said, "I don't think I've ever experienced peace before." My heart sank. When I asked if he felt safe, his eyes, wide open, spoke volumes without words. This 10-year-old boy was either a victim of sexual abuse or was being groomed for it. How do I know? The frontal cortex of the brain governs communication, executive functions, emotional regulation, and social cognition. When disturbed by abuse, a child struggles to function normally. I recalled an adult family member who suffered an aneurysm in their frontal cortex, which left them unable to communicate effectively, and it was heartbreaking to learn that they could no longer experience intimacy with their spouse. The frontal cortex is crucial for the mature capabilities that underpin healthy, loving, romantic relationships. When children and teens are exposed to sexual topics before their brains can handle them, it disrupts their development in critical areas, such as the executive function, emotion, and social skills. This makes them easy prey for predators who exploit their fears, shame, and guilt emotions. How could my amazing piano student suddenly lose his ability after months of success? What's the answer? Well, it's not calling even the best police officers who are often bound by corrupt systems like CPS and DHS, where foster parents may prioritize profit over genuine care. We need a reformed system, not government funded, that ensures a healthy developmental trajectory for children, particularly in their prefrontal cortex, allowing them to mature into adulthood. Jaco of Jaco Boyan's ministry says, rescuing these children is the easy part. Rehabilitating these children is the real challenge. I envision children's homes where these innocent ones who have experienced sexual, physical, and emotional abuse can receive love, healing, and feel a sense of safety in a nurturing environment. My vision is for a network of children's homes, each spanning 1,000 acres to house ages 5 to 17. Our expansive communities will feature multiple trained caregivers, gardens, and animal therapy for restoration. Each home will have an open living area and kitchen with separate wings for boys, girls, and the caregiver's family. On-site schools will provide K through 12th education, beginning with daycare for staff's children. A dedicated church space will train these children to lead as future Davids, Esthers, Nehemiahs, and Jeremiahs. These children are our next generation of leaders. They will escape familial sex trafficking and heal successfully. We'll teach them how they can hear God's message of love, healing, and the promise of a rich future filled with peace and joy. By learning to hear God, they will prune unnecessary neural connections and strengthen their ability to connect with God daily. This process of healing will insulate their neurons with the right amount of myelin, enhancing communication across brain regions. It's a process known as myelination. Ultimately, each child's brain will adapt and reorganize in response to their new uplifting experiences. This is neuroplasticity. As a voice and music teacher, I've seen firsthand how music can foster neuroplasticity, and it will be an integral part of our homes. I am also a certified coach for God Talks, helping parents and adults and children learn to hear God clearly as they navigate different brainwave states like delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma. The coaching and training exercises are rooted in the biblical truth that God, our Creator, desires to communicate with us, His family. We simply need the training to do so effectively. To the child in all of us, if you're struggling to overcome your past, facing financial or health issues, navigating difficult decisions in your business, or dealing with a recent divorce or the death of a loved one, reach out to me. If you want to help someone else, especially the children, it's time to get trained to position yourself to make a difference. Connect with me and let's get started. If you're a perpetrator or struggling with addiction to pornography and yearn for freedom, direct message me and we can begin the journey together. You can become a solution. Coaching will be one avenue to fund these children's homes. Join me in this vital mission. Make that decision today to be the change all of us.